Hello. All right. So the purpose of this video is to basically go over that list in action link in the UTeach curriculum. Okay. So let's start off. Let's say we want to create just a list of temperatures. Let's say the daily temperatures in Hawaii or something. Okay. So what we can do is we go down to variables. If you guys forgot how to make a list, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a list of temperatures. So I'm gonna click this here and going to put something like we're gonna create a list called temperatures. Okay. So if you guys remember how lists work, so what we can do is we can add certain temperatures. So like let's say we click this here, we add 70. So it's 70 degrees today. If we click this here, it's gonna be 80 degrees, or it's gonna be if we were to click this again, it's gonna be 50 degrees, pretty cold. If it ever gets that cold in Hawaii, we can put like 68 and so forth. We can do this process over and over again. Okay. So we have created our list of temperatures. Now, let's say we wanted to make this a little bit user friendly. So let's say we want to make it like so you can put in any temperature, right? So what we can do is we can do something like this. So we can go ahead and put something like here, and then put something, enter the temperature. And then by doing so, what we can do is we can add our input, whatever that's right when they ask for us for input, we can add that input to our list called temperatures. So let's see if this works. So let's see. Enter the temperature. Let's try 50. Oh, I think I clicked it twice. Okay, this is try one more time. Enter the temperature. Let's try 60. There we go. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Let's try enter another temperature. Let's try 70. Okay, there we go. And then let's click it again. Let's try 79. Okay, so it is working the way intended. So now it's user friendly. Okay, if you wanted to, we could actually have this program repeat this process for an unlimited amount of temperatures. Yeah, so what we can do is we can have this repeat until, and let's say kind of like in the first video or in the video before, one way that you could do this, you could repeat this list all the way until we get something like until the user decides to exit the program. So let's say we keep repeating this process until the user actually types in the word exit or something. So we can do something like this here. Okay, so let's just try it, see if it works. Enter the temperature, put 80. Okay, 80 is good. Let's try like 90. Then we're gonna create a giant list. Let's try 50, 60, 80, 70. Yeah, so it is inputting our temperatures. And let's see what happens when we type in exit. So if we type in exit, the program stops because exit equals exit. That's a true statement. So repeating this until we get a true statement. So that means that block of code doesn't execute anymore. So we're good. Okay. Now, as you can see though, if we were to try to run this again, it's gonna run into a problem. Let's try it. So you can see here it kind of stops, and the reason why is because the last input that this program got was exit. So it only thinks, well, exit equals exit, and that's true. Okay, as you can see, the code never runs. So to fix this, what we can do is we can actually duplicate the this block here. Actually, let's go. Actually, before we do, what I see is let's make this sentence a little bit nicer, because earlier we said enter the temperature. So we can put something like type in exit when finished or something. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing. So now let's duplicate it. Let's just delete this here. I'm gonna drag this on top, and then this should let us put anything in. So let's try like 90. Oh, let's try 90. Oh, okay, I see what happens. In this case now, when I put an input, then I put a second thing here. So I probably need to switch the order of what's in the repeat until. But actually, before we do, let's go ahead and just delete all these things in the in this list, because we have exit here. So let's just delete everything. Okay. So starting from the beginning, and then let's try to run this. So we type in 50. Yeah. So yeah, we put it twice. I think we just need to reorder this. So there, it's doing 60, 90. Okay. Let's do that. Let's take care of that right now. Let's put this on top. Okay. So okay. So let's click this again. Let's say we put 80. There we go. Okay. So 80 is added. 70, 90, 85, 65, and then let's repeat this process until the user decides to exit. So if we type in exit, there we go. So the program exits. So now exit is not even in here. So let's try. I'll run this one more time just to make sure. 90, 80, 79, and so forth. And we type in exit. All right. So we're good. So it looks like the program is working the way we want to. Okay. So so this is one way that you could like make it user friendly. You can add temperatures as you want. Okay. Now let's say we do something else. So something a little bit different. Okay. So let's say we want instead of going all the way here to deleting all of the temperatures, like how I would show you if I just delete everything right now. Let's say we make it such that the green flag takes care of that. Okay. So what we can do is we can do some sort of reset state. Okay. So this can be done by creating a procedure in Scratch. So let's start off with something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a procedure. So we're going to create make a block here. And let's say we want to make something like we want to reset the list. We want to reset the list. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and like I said earlier, when the green flag is clicked, then you want all the temperatures in the list to reset. So we can delete, let's see. We can delete all the temperatures or something. So let's say we click this here. Let's put 90, 80, 70, 60, 85, 60, and so forth. And then we just type in exit to exit. Okay. Then when we come here, let's say we just press the green flag now. So if we press the green flag, the way this works is it's going to run this procedure, which will say to delete all the temperatures. So let's try that. Oh, and there we go. Yep. So this deleted all the temperatures. Let's just try that one more time just to make sure. 90, 80, 60, 56, and then exit. And then if we press the green flag, it deletes all the temperatures. Yes, there we go. Okay, so it is working the way it's intended. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you something else that we can do with this as well. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Hello. All right, so here's the second part of this video. Okay, so let's say we want something to happen. Let's say when we make this, when we click this green flag, let's say we want certain temperatures to be added. Okay, so for example, let's go ahead and actually, let's go ahead and let's just solely focus on these here. Okay, so what we have is let's say we were to like add certain temperatures. So let's say we wanted to add something like 70, or we wanted to add like maybe 80. So then if it's 80, let's duplicate this again. Let's say we want to add like a 65 and 90. So there we go. And let's say let's say we make like 8 values or something. 8 values, and then we have like 60 here. Let's say we put like 85. I'm just making this up. 70. Let's click 100 or something. Okay, so the way this works, so it's like if I press the green flag, so if I press the green flag here, it's going to display all these temperatures. So it's deleting anything in this list beforehand, and it's going to just display all these temperatures. So let's see. Yeah. So as you can see, it got updated. So there's 70, 80, 65, 90, 60, 85, 70, 100. So we could actually modify this. Let's say we just took out this entire chunk. We took out this entire chunk and then press the green flag. Well, you might be thinking, well, what's going to happen? So what should happen is the list should display 70, 80, 65. So, yep, there we go. So yeah, you can modify this however you want. So you could also just do something like this, and then it should add 90 and 60 as well. So that's how you would add things to the list. You're creating this reset state, if that makes sense. So yeah, so we can kind of customize this if we wanted to. Okay, let's just say for now, let's just delete all the temperatures. So let's just delete all the temperatures. Okay, so now that we have an efficient organized data structure, so such as a list to store the data, we can use iteration to quickly process the data. We can actually traverse through a list by touching each element in order to process the data. We can code our programs in such a way where all the elements are accessed, or only a portion of them are accessed. So this idea is called list transversal. So there are many tasks in which list transversal is necessary, such as like printing all the elements, searching for a specific element. Let's say you wanted to find the maximum value or maximum temperature, or like a minimum temperature in this. How many times the temperature is going to be greater than like 70 degrees or something. Or you could also sort it. So using iteration is an efficient method of list transversal. Okay. To start this off, let's go ahead and create some code that we have done previously. So similar to how we had the sprite read the names in the list. So instead of reading names in the list, what we're going to do is it's going to read temperatures. Okay, so if you guys did the last video, so I'll just give you a little refresher on this. So what you can do is we would want to create a variable called index. So when we create this variable called index, it's going to create some code here just to kind of refresh your memory. So let's say we do something like this, and then we're going to repeat this a certain amount of times based on, let's see, it was the length of our list. So the length of our list, and then we can customize it. We can have it say a certain index. So that's the purpose of this index. So let's say we want it to say like item, let's see, item, a certain index in this temperatures list. So we can do something like this, and then we can change index by 1 after. So something like this. Okay, and so what we can do now is we can take this, and if we drag this up here, as you can see, so if I press the green flag, basically the cat should read all the numbers to us. Yep, 70, 80, 65, 90, 60, 85, 70, and 100. Good, yep. This delay is kind of killing me. Let's see if we just change it to like 1 second. 70, 80, 65, 90. Okay. Oh yeah. So well, we'll see. We can change that if we want to. Maybe we'll change it back so there is more delay between certain numbers, but we'll leave it at that for now. Okay. So what this does is so it's reading all the temperatures in a list. Okay. And of course, what we could do is, like, let's say if we wanted to be selective about it, like, let's say we wanted to read every other temperature in the list. Like, we could change this to a 2 if we wanted to, and then we could read every other temperature in the list, right? So 70, 65, 60, 70, and so forth. Let's just keep it the way we had it earlier. Let's just change the index by 1. So we're just gonna keep it the way we had it. Okay. What we can do is let's have a little fun with this. Okay, so now what we can do is let's try to create sprites that do different things. Okay, so this is actually a part of the what you're gonna have to do for this program. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's start. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new sprite. So create a new sprite, and if I go down here, there's a nice little button option. Let's go ahead and create a button, and let's say we name this like read temperature or something. Read temperature. Okay, and I see some of you definitely doing this in your programs. So I see that you can do is that let's put text on here. So let's go ahead and create a little costume here. And then let's go ahead and create this. Let's see, we can add some text. Let's see, read. Let's go ahead and change the color. Let's make it black, because black is cool. Oh, nope. Let's see. How do I do this? There? Okay. So something like this. Let's say we want it to read the temperature. Okay, so we need to kind of drag this. And then let's see, make it a little smaller. There we go. Okay, so let's say we create a button. So what we did, so we created this little button that says it's gonna read the temperature, a certain temperature. Okay, so let's go ahead and modify this. Oh, let's go back to the code here. So let's go ahead and we're gonna create. So what you see we're gonna do is we're gonna modify this. So there's somewhere in this. Let's see. I have the this thing here. The requirements. So it says you want to perform at least 3 different algorithms on the data in a list. So one way that we can perform 3 different algorithms is, we can just kind of use different sprites, as I'm going to show you soon. Okay, so what I see is we can start off by doing something like this. So let's say we want to do something. Let's put a purple say block here. Okay, and then let's say we make it say something like click a button to analyze the temperatures in Hawaii. Okay, click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. And let's say that we want when we click this button here, it's going to run a certain code. So maybe let's try drag this in here and see what happens. Okay, let's see. Okay, so made a copy. I don't think we need this anymore. Okay, so yes. So let's go here. And what we can do is we can do something like this. So when this sprite is clicked, so if I were to go here, so there's a yellow here. When this sprite is clicked, then you want it to run this code. Okay. So if I click it, oh, this is interesting. So you can see, well, now the button is saying all the temperatures. We'll work on that later. Okay. But let's go ahead and just try to press the green flag just to make sure. So so if we click a button to analyze the temperatures in Hawaii, well, it's really fast. Maybe we'll keep it at 3 seconds. Okay, so click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. And then let's go ahead and click this. So if we click this here, it's going to say 70, 80, all the temperatures that we put in this list. But the thing is, we want the cat to say this, right? So if we want the button to say this, we want the cat to say this. Okay. What we can do to make this work is oops. So actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to backtrack a little bit. So we want a broadcast. Okay. So my bad. So actually, with this, we're probably gonna have to put this back in here. Okay. So let's see if it copied. Okay, so it did copy. We actually don't need this. I think this should be gone. Okay, so when this sprite is clicked, then we're gonna broadcast a some sort of message to the sprites. And let's say we call it like something read temperatures. Read temperatures. Okay. And then when the cat gets a message, so let's say the cat gets something like this. So when I receive the temperatures, then it's going to say all those things. Let's just try to click this and see if it works now. Okay, click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. So let's go ahead and click the blue button. So okay, so now the cat is saying all the temperatures. Okay, so now what we can do is if we wanted to modify this, make this a little bit nicer. Like the cat is just saying a bunch of random numbers, right? So what we can do is we can just modify it, make it a little nicer. Let's see, it's saying index to 1. Let's say we start off with something like this. So let's go ahead and put this on top. Let's say we put something like the temperatures in Hawaii over the last few days were, and then it should run. So let's try it. So click a button So let's click this button. Okay, so yeah, the temperatures in Hawaii over the last few days were all those temperatures. Okay. Um, let's actually make this. Let's make this delay. Let's look at 3 seconds. I had a hard time kind of reading that. So now what we can do is like, let's say we wanted, instead of just saying like a number, let's say we wanted to say like the actual degrees, right? So what we can do is we can use little join block here. So if I use little join block, let's see, I can put something so this is a number, so this is going to be like 70, 80, 65 degrees. So let's put degrees here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and drag this in here. All right, let's see if this is working as intended. So click a button to analyze the temperatures in Hawaii. So I'm going to click this. So temperatures in Hawaii over the last few days were 70 degrees, 80 degrees, 65. Okay. All right. So I see a little syntax thing. I think I should put a space. So there should be a space here. And then let's go ahead and press the green flag. So click the buttons, analyze temperatures in Hawaii. Okay, so let's see. Temperatures in Hawaii over the last few days were 70 degrees, 80 degrees, 65, 90, and then so forth. So it is working as intended. Looks like it's working as intended. Okay. So we're getting there. We need to just do a few more examples. I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm gonna continue really soon. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. Hello. All right. So let's create another algorithm. So as you can see, this is one algorithm that we can do. So let's see. It says we need to perform at least 3 algorithms. We have 1. So let's make a second one. And the nice thing about this, as you can see here, is they give you some code here. So let's go ahead and create some of the code that you see there. Okay, so let's say now, as it says, for example, let's say we want to calculate the number of days in a month where the temperature exceeded 60 degrees. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So so we can accomplish this actually by creating this count variable and increment it by 1 if the temperature is greater than 60. Okay, so let's use this code in some shape or form under a new sprite. So we're going to create a new sprite. So let's go ahead and create another button. Here we go. And we'll call this button, we'll put days greater than 60 degrees or something. So that'll be a name. And let's go ahead and modify the costume. Let's go ahead and make it cool looking. So days greater than 60. Okay, so something like this. So let's go ahead and oh, I see. Okay, so now we can just drag that there. Let's see what we can do. Let's see, we have a circle here. We can put it degrees. So how do you do this? Something like this. Something like that. Let's see if it makes a circle. Oh ho ho, there we go. Yes. All right, so we have made the circle. All right, so something like this. Wait a minute. Okay, something went funny here. And then the outline. There we go. Okay, so something like that. So what we've created now, so sorry, this little, just being picky about the things. So now it says days greater than 60 degrees. Oh, okay, let's move this guy. There we go. Okay, so now it says days greater than 60 degrees. Okay, so now let's go ahead and recreate that code that the UTeach curriculum gave us. Okay, so gonna just create that whole thing. So we need to make a variable. We need to make a variable, and that variable is called count. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just literally just copy paste this thing here. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll trace it. Let's make sure to trace it. Just make sure we understand. Make sure we know what's happening. Okay, so we're gonna change the index. Looks like to 1. And then we're going to repeat, let's see, we're going to repeat this dependent on the length of the list. So the length of the list. Then we have an if statement. Okay. So you have something like if the item in this, the index. So let's see, where is item? So item, and then index here, and then it's not. Oops, it's not equals. My bad. Okay, let me. Sorry about that. Okay, getting rid of that. We need something greater. We need something greater than 60. Okay. Okay, so item is greater than 60. Yeah, so those of you that are just looking up a video, what I had to do is I had to switch out I chose the wrong block, so I apologize. Let's see. So change count by 1, and then we're going to change the index by 1. So something like this. Okay. Okay, so we got this little thing right here. So let's go ahead, even though we got the code, let's just try to trace it just so we have some sort of understanding of how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and trace it. So, okay. There we go. And boom. All right. So let's go and trace this thing. All right, so let's go ahead and trace this thing. So, interesting thing I just noticed now is, for some reason this button 2 didn't update. So let's go ahead and just change that. That's supposed to be days greater than 60. So let's go ahead and change that. Another thing that I saw here is if we're testing values that are greater than 60, let's try to change some values here that are not greater than 60. So let's go ahead and just change some of these. And then let's go ahead and just take a screenshot. Let's take a quick little snippet of this. Okay. And just trace this. So what is this code even doing? Okay. So what we did is, so just to help you guys out, this count variable, this helps us count the number of days that the temperature is greater than 60. Right? So what we have is if we set count equal to 0, and this says we set index equal to 1, we're going to repeat this for the length in this, the length of the temperature, so the list. So length of the temperatures is the amount of elements that we have in the list. So we're going to repeat this 8 times. Okay. So when we come down here, it says, well, if so index is 1. So if item 1 in this list called temperatures is going to be 55. So what we have is if 55 is greater than 60, then we're going to change the count by 1. So actually, so 55 is not greater than 60, so this is going to be false. So this doesn't execute. And then this means the index just changes. So the index, so this is just this notation, if you guys recall, so this is just index equals index plus 1. So what we're doing is we're just changing this index 1, so then this just becomes 1 plus 1, and that's equal to 2. So that means the index, as you can see here, so index is equal to 2, and then we're going to bring this up, and then we need to repeat this a second time. Okay, so when we repeat this a second time, so with the index of 2, right, so index is 2 now, also. Okay, so now we're looking at this here. Okay, so we're looking at item 2 of this temperatures list. What we have is item 2 is 80. So as you can see, 80 is greater than 60, so this is true. So that means we're going to update the count. So this means this is just basically count equals count plus 1 in AP exam pseudocode, right? So we're basically doing, we're starting off with 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So that means our count is going to equal 1. So basically what that says is that count is representing the number of days that the temperature is greater than 60, which makes sense because we've only traced through one value that's greater than 60. So that's working as intended. Okay, then we need to change the index. We need to change the index to 3. So because 2 plus 1, right? 2 plus 1, that gives you 3. So that means the index is 3. Then we're going to repeat this a third time. right? So repeat this a third time. Now our index gets updated with 3. So item 3, so we're looking at this here. So what we have is, yeah, so we're looking at this one now, right? So now we're checking 50. So 50 greater than 60? Nope. So 50 is not greater than 60, that's false. So again, since that's false, the if statement will only run if it's true. So since that's false, it's going to have to come back down. We're going to change the index. So we change the index to 4. So coming back up, and then now we're going to repeat this a fourth time, right? Then when we come down here, we're going to check item 4 in this list called temperatures. So if we check item 4 here, so that's 90, right? So what we have is, well, we're checking if 90 is greater than 60. And 90 is greater than 60, so that's true, right? So now what we're doing is we're changing the count by 1, so that's just 1 plus 1, and that equals 2. So now the count gets updated with the 2, which makes sense because 80 and 90 are the only temperatures so far that are greater than 60. So that makes sense. Okay, so when we come down here, and then the index is updated to a 5. So then we're going to repeat this a fifth time. So when we come down here, we're going to repeat this a fifth time and so forth. So now we're looking at the temperature of 60 degrees. So okay, so this one's interesting. So as you can see, well, 60 is not going to be greater than 60, so this is false. So actually what that means is, well, the count doesn't get updated, so this doesn't get updated, just the index changes. So we have a 6. So we're going to repeat this a sixth time. So when we repeat this a sixth time, then we're checking item 6 now. So now we're checking item 6. We're checking 85 is greater than 60, which is true. So now we're going to change the count by 1, and that's 3. And then that makes sense because, well, as you can see, well, 80, 90, and 85 right here are the only values that are going to be greater than 60. So we can do this process over and over again, and then the index is just going to change to 7, and so forth, etc. So if we just keep checking all of these, that means when we do all of this here, that means our output, our count variable should say 5. So count should equal 5 by the end of whatever we have gone through, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, let's hopefully it works. So let's go ahead now. What we want to do is kind of like what we did here. So what we want to do is we want to put, like, when this sprite is clicked. So when this sprite is clicked, okay, so something is going to happen, right? But as you can see here, if we click this, as you can see, we don't have any output. And the reason why we don't have any output is basically because we didn't give the cat any instructions. Okay, so what we can do is, if we give the cat instructions, so we can put something, let's see, we need another broadcast and when I receive. So let's do something like this. And let's say we change the message, something like days greater than 60 degrees or something. Days greater than 60 degrees. And then let's go ahead and just try to go ahead and, yeah, so days greater than 60. Let's try test to see what happens if we click this here, and let's see if we just see what comes out. So let's say we put this here, and let's actually see what happens. Let's just test this count. So hopefully we did this right. So if we did this right and we click this, it should say 5? 7. Wait, why is it saying 7? Count is equal to, oh wait, maybe let's try to, oh, I see. Okay, we gotta redo this all over again. Okay, so let's try click a button to analyze. So let's try click days greater than 60, and it's a 7. Okay, wait a minute. Days greater. Oh, okay, wait. Something weird happened. Why did it not? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so my bad. So you see here, what I did was I updated the values in the list. So what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to update the values in here. So I apologize. So there's a difference when you do that. So pay a little bit of attention to that. So what we have is we have 55. So 55 should have been in here. Let's see if this was even working. Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that is actually right. If you're based on yeah, if we had the old values, 7 is right. But we need to change this based off the old. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. That was me being careless. So now you guys know. You guys need to update the inside here. Okay. So I think the rest looks okay. All right. So let's try to press this here. Click a button to analyze the temperatures in Hawaii. Now if we click this, it should say 5. Whew. All right. It says 5. Okay. So, yep. So I was going crazy there. I was thinking like, what's happening? Why is it not working? But sometimes you gotta do those little things. So make sure when you guys are, if you guys are updating your values, make sure you are updating the inside, not just the outside. So I apologize for making that error. Okay, so it looks like it's working the way you intended, right? So click a button and then we go ahead and click it. It says 5. Okay, great. So I'm gonna continue where we left off very soon. Okay, bye. Hello. All right, so let's do something now with this count variable. So like we tested earlier, it said 5, right? So it is working the way we intended. So if we're looking at this list of values here, so we can put something like, let's say we were to create a sentence. So something like there were so many days that had a temperature greater than 60 degrees or something. So let's see, maybe something like this. So there are, and then we can put this here. Oh, we need another join block, I think. So there are so certain amount of days when the temperature was greater than 60 degrees. Okay. So let's see. So there are 5. Oh, okay. Syntax. So should have been a little bit more careful with that. We need a space here. And then we also need a space here. Okay, so let's see. There are 5 days when the temperature is greater than 60 degrees. So it looks like it's calculating that value for count correctly. Let's say, yeah, let's just change it up. Let's change it to like 90. So now, if it's updating, now it should say, if I click it here and I click a button, then it says there should be 6 days. There we go. So there are 6 days when the temperature was greater. If we change this, we make it 100. And then if we do it one more time, so we do this again, and then it updates that value, and then if we click this, it should say there are 7. There we go. So there are 7 days when the temperature is greater than 60 degrees. So, all right. So it does look like the code is working as intended. All right. So going through this again. So as you can see, there's one more thing that we need to do. So we need to create another algorithm in this list. Okay, so nice, as you can see here, they give you an algorithm for you to use. So you let's go ahead and create that. But before we do, okay, so let's go ahead and create another sprite to make this user friendly. Okay, so we're going to create another sprite. And what we're going to do is we're going to use, we want to find the maximum, in this case, this is maximum temperature. So let's say we want to find the maximum temperature for in a list of given values. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another sprite here. So let's create a button, another button, and that's gonna go here. Let's name this button. Let's call it maximum temperature. There we go. All right. So same idea. We gotta go back to this. Oh, okay. So we gotta change some of these here. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. So max temperature or something. So we can create something like this. And then we can drag this guy here, make it a little bit smaller so it fits inside the little button. There we go. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I guess that's fine. Yeah. So, yes. So now we have a max temperature button. Okay. So now we'll do the same thing as what we did for other programs. So now, just going to create this wonderful code. I'm going to create this wonderful code right now. So let's see what we need. We need to create a variable called max temp. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy it exactly as you guys see it in the curriculum. Okay, so set max temp to, let's see, it's going to be item 1 of temperatures, and then we're going to set index, so set the index here to 1, and then we're going to repeat this depending on our list here. So our list, let's see, it's going to be length of temperatures. Okay. Then we have a nice little if statement. So it says like, well, if the item index, so let's see, so item, I need an operator. Okay, so we need a greater than. So greater than here. And then let's see, if item index, here we go, so item here, and then we need an index of temperatures is greater than the maximum temperature. Okay, then we're going to set the max temperature to the, in this, I'm going to duplicate this, there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the index. So we're going to change the index by 1. Okay, so there's our code here. Now let's go ahead. Let's just trace this. Let's just trace this just to make sure we understand what's happening. Let's go ahead. Let's change one of the values here. I'll just change it to 95. I need to change this to 95 actually. I need to change that to 95. Don't update this. That's my bad. Don't update this list here. You want to update in there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and I'll continue really soon. Okay? All right. Hello. All right, so let's trace this so we have some sort of understanding how this works. Okay, so we created a variable. So this is what UTeach curriculum gives you. Okay, so we create a variable, and that's the maximum temperature. So we set it equal to the first element in this list called temperatures. So in the max temp equal to 90, and we're going to set the index here equal to 1. Okay, so we're going to repeat this 8 times. Okay, so if the index is 1, so if item 1 of in this list called temperatures is greater than the max temperature, so what we have, 90 is, so this is going to be 90 is greater than 90, because that's the max temp, so that's going to be 90. So 90 is greater than 90. This is already false, so the if statement is not going to run. So next we're going to do is we're going to change the index by 1, so the index gets updated with 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2. So come back up, and then we need to repeat this a second time. So when we repeat this a second time, then the index gets updated to 2. Okay, so when we come down here, so we're checking item 2, which is 80. So now we're checking if 80 is greater than 90. So that's still false. So 80 is not greater than 90, so that's false. So this is not going to run, and we're going to change the index again. So we're changing the index to 3. Bring this up, we're going to repeat this a third time. So now we're going to check the third index. So then it says, well, if item 3 in this here, so this is 100, so if 100 is greater than 90, so that's going to be true. Okay, so as you can see here, so since this is true, then we're going to run this statement. So we're going to set the max temperature, so max temp or something, so equal to the particular index. So this is item 3 in this list called temperatures. So we're setting item 3 to 100. Okay, then we're going to change the index again by 1, so this is going to be 4. Okay, so come back up, we need to repeat this a fourth time. So we're going to look at 90. Well, as you can see here, so now we have 90 is not greater than 100, so this is going to be false. So since that's false, this doesn't run. and then we're going to change the index. So change the index again to 5. Okay, so then we're going to repeat this a 5th time. So then we're going to read item 5 and so forth. As you can kind of see a pattern, right? So this is 60 and the max is 100. So each of these values, each of these successive values are still going to be false. Okay, so well, let's just run through the whole thing just to make sure. Okay, so since this is false, then that's not going to run. And then we're going to change the index again by 1. So we're going to change the index to 6. Okay, so now we have 6. And then we're checking item 6. So 85 is not greater than 100. So the index gets updated to 7. So then come back up here. So then 70 is not greater than 100. So this doesn't run. Index is updated to 8. Come back up here. Finally, we're going to repeat this 8th and final time. Well, 95 is not greater than 100. So this is also false. So then what we have is we're going to change the index again by 1, and that's 9. So main thing that we need to get out of this is the value for max temperature. And that's what we extracted out of this, as you can see here. So that's what we got out of this. So we just got the maximum temperature is 100. So this program should be working the way as we hope. Okay, so let's do the same thing that we did previously for the other problem. So let's go ahead and just let's see. So what we need is we need something like this. So when this sprite is clicked, so when this particular sprite max temperature is clicked, then we want something to happen. So if we click it again, I don't think something's gonna happen because we didn't give anything to the cat to say. So we need the cat to say something. Okay, so let's see. So we can put something like when I receive. Oh wait, I see. Oh, we need a Okay, so we need a broadcast and a receive. Okay, so we're gonna change this. So we're gonna change this to broadcast and maximum temperature. Okay. Maximum temperature, and then we need to go ahead and put a when I receive maximum temperature. Okay, so when I receive maximum temperature, we want the code to say the variable. Let's see. So max temp. If this is working correctly, let's hope it is. It should say 100. Okay, click a button, and let's see 100, 100, 100. All right, I'm happy. So yes, it says 100. Okay, so yes, we good. So now what we want to do is we need to go ahead and make it say something a little nice. So we were able to get 100 out of this. Okay, so we can create another sentence, right? So let's see. We can create another join operator. Put something like the highest temperature in Hawaii in this data set was okay, we need another join block. Was going to be 100 degrees. All right, let's see if this works. I put some spaces there. Hopefully we don't run into issues this time. So let's see. Click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. The highest temperature in Hawaii in this data set was 100 degrees. Oh, some of these sentences are really short. Let's go ahead and check that. Okay, highest temperature in this data set was 100 degrees. All right, so I think it is working. Let's just try to check all of these just to make sure it works. So this says, so when the green flag is clicked, it says we're going to click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. So we're going to click one of these buttons here. So if we read the temperature, so it's going to read all the temperatures to us, right? Temperatures in Hawaii over the last few days were, and it's going to say like 90, 80, 100, 90, 60, 85, 70, 95. Okay, so if we were to click this here, so now it says there are 7 days when the temperature is greater than 60 degrees. So we changed some of the values. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So we have 7 days in temperature that's greater than 60 degrees. Yes. And then the max temperature, if we click this, and it should say the highest temperature was 100. There we go. Yes. All right. The highest temperature in this data set was 100 degrees. All right. So let's look back at the requirements. to kind of see if we hit all of these things. Okay, so let's see. Create a reset list block. Okay, so we have created a reset list block, and that basically deleted all the elements in the list, and it added each data to value list. Okay, let's see. The dataset must have 15 values. Okay, that's something we gotta do. So we gotta make 15 values instead of 8. Okay. Next part says call the reset block when the green flag is clicked. Okay, so we did that. So we're calling this reset list block. Yeah. When the green flag is clicked. So this is the procedure that's running. Okay. Okay, so it says provide the user with instructions. Okay, so those are the instructions is this purple say block, right? So it's click a button. Those are the instructions. Okay, so we're good. Perform at least 3 different algorithms. Okay, so we did that. So these are the 3 different algorithms represented by 3 different sprites. Okay, let's see. Provide code comments with, okay, we did not do that. Okay, so we can do that with your name, date, and program description, and all that. Okay, as needed. All right, so a couple things that we need to do is we need to go ahead and add more values to this list. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to add 7 more. Let's go ahead and ooh. Okay. Let's go ahead and add a few more. Should we just make it up? We'll just make it like 50, 60, 80, 90, 60. We'll use some weird numbers. 68, 69, 72. Let's say it was like 120 degrees one day. Maybe let's hope not. Let's hope Hawaii doesn't get that hot. Or let's say it never gets to 30 degrees. Let's hope it never gets that cold. Yeah, I know it's been cold lately. But yes, lucky we live in Hawaii, right? So let's see. There's 15 numbers. Okay, so yeah. So now we have fixed that. So data set must have 15 values. So right. So as you can see here, yeah, it updates. So if we were to go ahead, click a button. So if we, let's just check to make sure if it works. So 50, 60. Okay, it works. All right. And then we try this. There are 9 days. We can check that. You can check it for yourself too. I think there's 9. And the max temperature should be 120 because I only put 120 in there. There we go. All right. So it is working the way that it's expected. Let's go ahead and just fix some of these things here. We actually don't need to show this list. We could actually hide this. And then we can actually make the program, like you could just show it like that. Click a button to analyze temperatures in Hawaii. And then you could, later, if you need the list, you can just press show, and then that will give you your list. You could have it on the side if you want, but yeah, if I wanted to hide it, you can just kind of just hide it, and then you can just say, oh, these are the data based off your list that you made earlier. Okay. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to, so it says provide code comments. You know what, I'll just say, just do the last, like the other time, just add at least 1 comment. Let's do that. We haven't done that in a while. So right click, add comment. This one, so comments with your name. So I'm Mr. Chang. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom into this so you can kind of see. Okay, so I am Mr. Chang. Today's date is December 6th, 2020. Okay. Program description. So this program reads the temperature. It reads all the given temperatures in a list. Let's see. It checks which temperatures are greater than 60 degrees, and it checks the highest temperature in a list, so, or for a given day, something like that. So yeah, you could write something like that. You could also put comments. You can put comments in here, just for consistency as well. So put comments wherever you feel that you wanted to put comments. Yeah. All right. So yeah, like I do, I'll just have you just add one comment, and that's fine. Okay. So hopefully we hit all of these things here. So yeah, we did the 15 values and we created the comment. Okay. Great. And I'm gonna finish this off really soon. Okay. I'll see you later. Okay. Bye. All right. Okay. So here are some final things that I want to see. Okay. So for those of you that want a challenge, what you could do is you could do more than 3 algorithms. You could create a lot of different buttons if you wanted. So what it is, I just showed you 3 different algorithms. So you can try to do other things that weren't covered in this video. So if I were to come here, like we didn't find a minimum value or find a sum or average. So or just find the average. You could do that. You could, if you wanted, if you didn't want to use these, you could do that if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could even change this read temperatures algorithm. So as you can see, like it got kind of tedious because it just had to keep reading every single temperature over and over and over again. And remember, if you guys did the other program in the other shown in the other video, right? So there was a way that you could just display all the temperatures all at once. So you could modify this. You could put that code. Instead, you just got to change names to temperatures and just modify certain things. And in that way, you could actually make it work as well. So yeah, that's another thing that you could do. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, let me see. I think that's all I really needed to say. Okay, don't forget to share your project. Make sure to press the orange share button so to make sure I can see it. And let me know if you have any questions. All right, okay, bye.